How's it going, my peeps? It is now time for the WrestleMania 29 results / highlights and review video. I'll go over the results of the show, some of the highlights in my opinion, and in the end, give you guys my thoughts on the show and the matches. So, it all kicks off, of course, with the 1 hour pre-show at 6 p.m. They promoted pretty much every single matchup, and you actually had Kofi Kingston help promote the matches. And he, Scott Stanford, Dusty Rhodes, they were all talking about, you know, the matches and what you can expect and their predictions and such. And of course you had, you know, The Miz versus Wade Barrett. Before that you had a segment with Wade Barrett, The Miz, and Wade Barrett, The Miz, and Snooki. Yeah, pretty much The Miz and Snooki were talking. Wade Barrett came up to them. Pretty much, you know, he tells The Miz that he's gonna beat him tonight. Anyways, moving on to the actual matchup. The Miz won the Intercontinental Championship. Wade Barrett went for the Bullhammer. The Miz ducked that. He locked on the figure four, but Wade Barrett got to the ropes. But a few moments afterwards, The Miz once again got the figure four locked in, and Wade Barrett tapped out for new Intercontinental Champion, The Miz. And after the pre-show, you had the actual, you know, WrestleMania, the main show. Surprisingly, it kicked off. Well, the first match was The Shield versus Randy Orton, Big Show, and Sheamus. I was expecting maybe the tag team title match, but we got this match instead. So as far as the match goes, towards the end, Sheamus was going to tag in the Big Show, but Randy Orton got in. You know, he tagged himself in. He starts cleaning house, and then Seth Rollins goes for a springboard move on Orton, and Randy Orton catches him with the RKO, but Roman Reigns gets in, spears Randy. Ambrose goes for the cover, wins the matchup for his team. And after the matchup, actually, Big Show knocked out both Sheamus and Randy Orton. So it looks like a Randy Orton heel turn, you know, it might be coming soon. After that match, it was time for Ryback versus Mark Henry. And this match was pretty quick. Mark Henry was dominating most of the matchup. In the end, though, Ryback starts getting the advantage again, starts building up momentum, hits a clothesline. He's about to go for the shell shock. But when he went for the shell shock, Mark Henry fell on him, covered him, 1, 2, 3. Mark Henry won the matchup, which I've got to say surprised the hell out of me, and I think a lot of people. I was really expecting Ryback to win. Honestly, Mark Henry winning was really not a possibility for me, so this was definitely a shocker. But anyways, after the matchup, they're checking on Ryback. Mark Henry goes back inside the ring, and Ryback hits him with a spine buster, and then he actually hits and connects with the shell shock on Mark Henry to a big pop. And then it came time for the tag team title match. Dolph Ziggler and Big E come out first, followed by Team Hell No. And they did the whole, the same thing that happened last year with Daniel Bryan. AJ goes up on the apron for a kiss with Dolph Ziggler, kisses her, and then turns around. But this time, Daniel Bryan hits a kick on Dolph Ziggler, goes for the cover, 1, 2, but Dolph Ziggler actually kicks out. And towards the end of the matchup, Ziggler tried to hit Kane with the briefcase. That was unsuccessful, and Kane ended up hitting him with a chokeslam. Tagged in Bryan, who hit a diving headbutt on Dolph Ziggler for the victory. So Team Hell No retains and are still the tag team champions. Not a surprise there, although I did predict Dolph and Big E. Like I said in the prediction game video, I really could have seen the match go either way. Afterwards, it was Fandango versus Chris Jericho. Fandango's entrance was, you know, bigger than usual. You had a bunch of dancers, not just one. And the matchup was pretty quick. Jericho went for the walls of Jericho in the end, but Fandango rolled him up for the victory. So I didn't necessarily like the finish, but also at some point, Fandango went for his leg drop, and he connected, but Jericho kicked out. And yeah, Fandango wins the matchup. Anyways, after that, it was time for the World Heavyweight Championship match between Del Rio and Jack Swagger. Towards the end of that matchup, Del Rio went for an enziguri on Jack Swagger. Jack Swagger failed to hit the gut-wrench powerbomb. He went for the cover, but Zeb Coulter grabbed Jack Swagger's leg or foot and put it on the ropes. So then he tells the referee, hey, Jack Swagger's, you know, foot is on the ropes. So the referee stops counting. Del Rio gets mad at Zeb Coulter, so he gets out of the ring. And, you know, that slight distraction allowed Jack Swagger to get out of the ring himself and attack Del Rio. Once he's done attacking Del Rio on the outside, he puts him on the inside of the ring, and as soon as he gets in, Del Rio locks on the cross arm breaker. Jack Swagger taps out. Del Rio retains. Dolph Ziggler does not come out to cash in. And then came time for The Undertaker versus CM Punk. During the matchup, I think CM Punk connected with one GTS. He hit that GTS. Actually, I'm pretty sure it was one GTS. I don't think he hit two. But anyways, he went for that GTS. He hit it. But The Undertaker didn't go down. Instead, he bounced off the ropes right after CM Punk hit the GTS. He came back with a tombstone to CM Punk, but CM Punk kicked out. And at some point in the matchup, CM Punk put The Undertaker on the announcer's table, climbed up the top turnbuckle, hit the top rope diving elbow drop. It didn't break the announcer's table, though. And, yeah, so he connected with that. Eventually, Undertaker gets back in the ring at, like, the count of 9. And, CM Punk, towards the end, I think he went for another GTS, but Taker countered that into a tombstone and finally won the matchup. It was a decent match. You know, it was no Shawn Michaels versus Undertaker, but it was a decent match. After beating him, he grabs the urn. Oh, actually, I forgot. CM Punk at one point, how could I forget that? In the matchup, the referee got taken down accidentally, and The Undertaker went for the last ride on CM Punk. And when he got up, or Taker got him up, Paul Heyman gave CM Punk the urn, and CM Punk hit The Undertaker on the back of the head with the urn, went for the cover, and Undertaker kicked out at 2.5. And, yeah. Anyways, after the matchup, after Undertaker wins, he grabs the urn, puts it in the ring, and does his pose. After that match, it was Brock Lesnar versus Triple H in a no-holds-bar match. And, you know what, I thought this match was decent. I didn't think it was bad at all. You know, there were some places where it was, like, really slow. Most of Brock Lesnar's offense, in terms of... most of Brock Lesnar's offense were some belly-to-belly suplexes, or overhead belly-to-belly suplexes, and German suplexes. They used a couple steel chairs. Brock Lesnar used the steel steps. Triple H actually locked in the Kimura lock, as I predicted, by the way. He locked it on like 3 times or something like that. And each time he would lock it on, Brock Lesnar would power out, and he would actually get up with, you know, Triple H locking it on, and just slam Triple H onto the steel steps. He did that about 3 times or so. And he hit an F5 on Triple H. Triple H kicked out. Before he hit that F5 on Triple H, he actually hit the F5 on Shawn Michaels. And I believe Shawn Michaels might have landed on his nose, because a little bit afterwards, he was bleeding from the nose. And Shawn Michaels also got involved because Brock Lesnar attacked him. He hit him with an elbow, I believe. He tried to hit Sweet Chin Music on Brock, but that's when Brock hit the F5. When CM Punk, when I'm still talking about CM Punk, when Triple H went for the first Kimura lock, Paul Heyman was about to break it up with the steel chair, so he grabs the steel chair, but Shawn Michaels hits him with a super kick. Eventually, Triple H hits Brock Lesnar with the sledgehammer straight in the head, and then hits the pedigree on the steel steps for the victory. So Triple H wins. He hugs with Shawn Michaels after the matchup, and yeah, so Triple H's career is not over. And then you have the Hall of Famers coming out. You know, they introduced the class of 2013 Hall of Famers. And after this match, you know, he's expecting the 8-person tag team match. You know, tons of Funkadactyls versus Bella Twins and Rhodes Scholars. And you know what? That match did not take place. So it looks like that match got canceled due to time constraints or something. Because, you know, neither team came out. Match just did not take place. And right after John Cena's theme music hits, I was like, what? Is John Cena maybe coming out for a promo, and then we're going to have maybe the 8-person tag team match? No. John Cena came out for the actual matchup against The Rock. Rock came out afterwards. There were no special entrances for John Cena or The Rock. So, you know, the match was okay. Lots of finishers, lots and lots of finishers. Cena hit about 3, maybe 4 attitude adjustments. The Rock hit about 3 rock bottoms, and I'm not sure if The Rock went for a attitude adjustment. Not too sure about that, but he did hit a 5-knuckle shuffle. John Cena hit the rock bottom. John Cena also was about to hit the people's elbow, but The Rock was about to hit the rock bottom when John Cena came back, but John Cena stopped, you know, before The Rock could do so. In the end, John Cena hits the AA one more time after counting the rock bottom and gets the victory. After the matchup, John Cena and The Rock, stare down. They have a couple words, but you can't really hear what they're saying. The music stops. John Cena's music stops. They keep talking for a little bit, and then they hug, and The Rock's music hits. John Cena leaves the ring, and then The Rock gets out of the ring. He hugs his mother and maybe some family members, and then he goes up the ramp, and John Cena's waiting for him on the ramp, I mean. And he raises his hand, and that's pretty much it. The Rock leaves. John Cena poses with the championship one more time on the top of the stage. And that is it for WrestleMania. I'm gonna say, though, after that matchup, I was like, when The Rock and Cena were having some few words, I think Cena extended his hand and The Rock shook it. I was like, come on, please, one of you two, hit the other, I want a heel turn. Preferably Cena, but nothing happened there. So, what did I think about the show? Match of the night, maybe? Highlights? Well, highlight for me would be Ryback lifting Mark Henry up. Although, he didn't lift him up the same way he lifts up his other opponents in the Shell Shock, where he starts off from the Fisherman Suplex position. He actually lifted him up as he would in the video game. The same way he lifts him up in the video game, that's pretty much how he did it to Mark Henry, but that is still impressive nonetheless. Match of the night, I'd say maybe CM Punk versus The Undertaker, maybe Brock versus Triple H. I think I'll go with CM Punk versus The Undertaker. As far as, my overall review on the show, if I would give it a rating, if I'd give it a rating, honestly, I'd give it maybe a 6 on 10. I definitely enjoyed last year's WrestleMania better. There were a lot better WrestleManias in my opinion. I was a bit disappointed in this one. Also surprised that, Dolph Ziggler, not only did he not win the tag team titles, but he didn't cash in. Once he didn't win the tag team titles, I was expecting Dolph maybe to cash in on Del Rio. Maybe Jack Swagger would attack him, Dolph would cash in. That did not take place. But at the same time, I also had a feeling that Dolph might not cash in. When he would say, Dolph Ziggler on TV would say that he'd cash in at the Rumble or Elimination Chamber, and he wouldn't do it. He also said he'd cash in at WrestleMania, and he didn't do it. So, if Dolph says on Raw he's going to cash it in on SmackDown, he's probably not going to cash it in on SmackDown. So I guess it's going to be unexpected once he does. But Money in the Bank is approaching, I believe. So, and the contract does expire at Money in the Bank. Who knows? Maybe he cashes it in at Money in the Bank. Also, Brock Lesnar. Brock Lesnar came back looking better than ever. Dude's jacked and he's leaner than ever too. Also, when it comes to the Ryback versus Mark Henry match, I did not enjoy that matchup, but I wasn't expecting it either to be a great match. I was really looking forward to the match just to see Ryback lift Mark Henry up for the Shell Shock. Also, talking about that match, I did not expect Mark Henry to win the matchup. And if he were to win the matchup, I was expecting maybe a victory with the World's Strongest Slam. And also, when it comes to the Big Show, it seems like he just turned heel again. So, Big Show was just a heel, and then he turned face, leading up to WrestleMania, and now he's back to heel. That goes back to my prediction game video. I was just talking about that, where I said, did you guys notice, or have you guys noticed that the two guys that switch from heel to face, or from face to heel the most, are Kane and the Big Show. I think the Big Show has Kane beat, or maybe they're equal. I'm not sure, or maybe Kane has done it more. But they're pretty close, and I'd say they're the two guys that switch the most. And I think that's about it. I do still think Randy's is going to turn heel soon and win, and if he does, then I think we can expect a Randy Orton and John Cena feud once again with Randy as a heel. Oh yeah, and after WrestleMania, of course, was the pre-show, not the pre-show, the post-show, where they had, still Kofi Kingston, Scott Stanford, Jim Ross, and Dusty Rhodes talking about the matches, the results, showing some pictures. Yeah, had an interview with The Big Show, interview with, who else? There was also an interview with, Big Show's interview, by the way, he said that the only person he cares about is himself, The Big Show. And they also interviewed Zeb Coulter and Jack Swagger, and they showed Triple H in the doctor's room or whatever. So, that is pretty much it. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and if you did, as always, you can click that like button. I'd really appreciate it. And in the comment section, tell me what you guys thought about WrestleMania, and give WrestleMania a rating. If you were to give WrestleMania a rating on 10, what would that be? So, oh yeah, and tell me which match you guys like the most. Like I said, I'd say the match of the night for me would be maybe CM Punk versus The Undertaker. So with that said, I'm out, guys. See ya.